Talk Pro. My name is Ron Ecker. The last session we had was starting to build your own system. We talked, step number one, we talked about the advantages of a system. Secondly, we talked about developing your values. You have to really seek in the depths of your soul to really know what your values truly are. But they're very important. They will be the rock you build your system on. And if you really value something, you'll be very slow to give it up. You won't change because you have a couple of bad games or whatever, some failures, because you believe in it deeply. If you believe in something deeply, you can get your team to do it. Today, the third step is a vision statement. Some people call it a mission statement. I call it a vision statement because what you're stating is what you want to see in the future for your team. The future may be 2 days from now, or it may be a year from now. If you can write it in 2 sentences, your mind is clear. It brings that kind of clarity. So it should be something that you can say in 2 to 3 statements. Don't tell me I like the running game, or my value is zone press. It's got to be bigger than that. The statement's got to be much bigger. Well, today we're going to put the final piece on a system. And to do that, I have to show you in a form what it actually includes. Don't be overwhelmed by it. It's not as difficult or as lengthy as it would appear at first. I have a chart that I want you to see, and from that you'll be able to build your system tomorrow if you want it, today if you want to. So I'll go to that chart now. Okay, we have gone through the advantages of a system. We told you and asked you to develop your values, and I'm not saying you should have them done by any length of time, but you need to work through that. Then the third step is, as we've already told you, is to develop a vision statement, and you should be able to define that vision statement in 2 sentences, not more than 3. Because if you can do it in 2 sentences, you have a clarity about what you're talking. You'll find that to do that, you got to make things very clear, as I said before. Now you're ready to start putting your system together, and we're using the Monk system. All right, over here we've listed our values. Now you don't necessarily, you could have them on a separate list. I did it this way just to keep myself in line. And these are mine. These are the values of the Monk system. You know, I don't need to go through them. There's 6 of them. There's more, but 6 is enough. You got to purge some of this to keep things simple. You could add 6 or 7 more to it, and then you'd just be muddling around. Keep it simple. 6 is plenty. In fact, learning, I might put, I could take off and put repetition, because our learning is repetition. Then the next thing to do is list the parts. Now, you don't need all of these parts. You may not have some of these available. It may not be possible for you. That's okay. But for we know this, you're going to have a team offense, you're going to have a team defense. You should be planning your practices. You should be managing your practices. You should have drills to practice. You're going to do some kind of conditioning and weight training. So at least those are there. You should have evaluation too. Most of this you could do regardless of what your situation is. But get them down and list them in some kind of order. These are in pretty rough order. I just wanted to show you. You can take this list, and it's a general list. You don't need everything up there, and you might need some things that aren't up there. That's fine. But make your list. Then you are ready to do the real work. You are either going to put a team offense here, the words team offense, or team defense. If you want to be primarily, you think your strength in coaching is your team offense, then that should go one. Team defense two. But there has been times in my career that team defense was one and no team offense was two. It just happens that at this point right now, and it'll never change because I'm set. Um, then you list what is your team offense. Well, in our case, we start with the monk offense. That's our linchpin to everything. Then we have a cut series offense, which matches these values, improvisation, instincts, and playing in the third element. And we have a fast break, and we have need plays. I don't have out of bounds plays. I don't use those. Then you list your breakdown drills for these for your system up here. Then you come to team defense. In our case, it's the ball line defense. That's what we use. That's our defense. But we supplement it with the rover zone defense. Not use it a lot, but we use it in occasions, and we use it for specific things we want to achieve. Then our fast break defense, which is, relatively simple. Mainly it's just run. And then you have your breakdown drills for those things. Now you have to go back before you even add anything more. Then you go, these are general headings. All right, now under monk offense, I would probably have that I would identify it, that it's a freelance offense based on instincts and improvisation, and that it's a supplement offense to the fast break and to the plays when they break down. But it can be used as a half court offense also. Now, under cut series offense, I would list cut one, cut two, automatic, exchange. Those are parts, there's more, but I only am teaching you for those. And that's basically all we use. And then our fast break, we would go through and what is the important things of the fast break. I believe in teaching from a five-man system and letting them, I don't have any real rules except shot selection rules, but I want them to run. I don't care about lanes because you don't get those lanes in a game. But we do have a few things that we want them to look for. That would be there. Our need plays would be, we have 6 need plays, 3 for when we need 2, and under 2 we have the 3 situations, maybe a longer period of time to get that shot we want, Then there's the medium area, and then there's one. The last one is we gotta get a shot off for a two in less than say 8 seconds. They're all there, and the same for the three. And now the breakdown drills, we would list those under where they belong. You see what I mean? Monk offensive, we have three drills that we run to learn how to run, to cut off of screens, and then we have about five cutting drills. They would come under monk offense. So there's not much more to add to cut series offense except the baseline drill. You guys that know what I'm talking about. Here in the fast break, I only use one other drill. It's a two-man drill. That's it. And need plays need to be practiced in entirety, not breaking them down. But those are now they would go under these different headings. You got to fill those out. Uh, these are the general headings. Then it gets more specific. The same thing is true for the team defense. Now on team defense, we have more drills actually than we do for our offense. We use a number of drills for our ball line defense. We would list them here. We don't have any real drills for our zone defense. That's a team type of thing. Fast break defense, we have one drill. And then, so that we have to list those under each one. Okay, that's the procedure. That's I'm not going to go any farther. You got to do some of this work, but you got the scheme now. You can take practice planning and write it down here. Underneath that, write the things that you want to do. Management, you should have things like how many basketballs on the floor, towels on the bed, on the table, the clocks ready to go, all the things that you need. And then you go down to practice drills. We've already gone over those. Then your ancillary training, if you want a condition training, that should be down the list with things under its heading. So now you have a system after you've gone through everything. And I believe that, like staff, does need to relate to our system. And the two sentences that you were asked to design. That doesn't mean you got to keep everything to two sentences if you want to add more, but you're probably cluttering if you do that, and then then things get a little goofy. But these are things you're going to deal with. They don't have to deal with them much. Facilities might be just to keep the floor clean. Rules and discipline, some people would have a lot here. I have very little. This is a key one, but you should be able to define what you want, the learning principles you want to apply, and that's more important than the teaching. Um, your staff, you'll think some of you guys say, well, we don't have any staff. Well, you should have staff. Assistants, I don't care where I coach. If I were coaching uh, in AAU, two assistants is all I'd want, but I'd want two. Um, if I were coaching in the NBA, I mean, they got 6, 8, 10 assistants up there. Um, I'd have two. That's all I'd have. And then there'd be other people to do jobs for our two. But player development, If I hire the right coaches, assistant coaches, we can we can be the player that we'll keep develop the players. I don't need any special guys for that. They just get in your way. Um, and you know you got to have equipment. You got to know your support system, your staff, secretaries, you know, that kind of thing. I can't tell you what, because everything is different every place you go. Uh, but this is a pretty good list. But you can cut this down, or you can add to it with when you get this your vision statement done. You get these things done. You might have to add something. There might be something there that you would want that's not on here. This is a pretty general list. I doubt you find much that's not on this list. That's how you build a system. So keep this in mind. You can make the same chart I did, and you'll have a good system. Well, when you get done with that, if you do a thorough job on it, remember all these details add up to something. We've seen that in the number of points scored from what I call spaces, just little bitty spaces throughout the game. Yet they multiply to a great number. So all those things I gave you, take heed that. Now here's what you can do to help yourself. All of this will be in the book that I wrote some time ago. It's in volume 2. It's in either chapter 7 or 8. I'm not sure right now which one it is. But that will, what I'm saying today to you, will all be in there, even though it was written some time ago. Don't underrate what you're doing, because this is you can either win with your system or have other people beat you with their system if you don't have any. Well, that's it for today. We'll see you in the next meeting. Thank you.